You are listening to the Lose Weight for the Last Time podcast with me, Laura Conley. Hey guys, what's up? I have one of my amazing Yummy Mummy team members, Krista Couch, here with me today because I've just really been realizing that life is so much more fun when you do it together. So when Krista and I were talking about this particular podcast going live, we thought, wouldn't it be more fun if she came on and interviewed me? So Krista is a part of the Yummy Mummy team, and she is going to just ask me some questions about why I thought I couldn't lose weight and how ultimately I was able to overcome that, in the hopes that this gives you some inspiration to do the same. So welcome to the podcast, Krista. Thanks for being on.
I'm excited. I think that this will be a fun chance to share some things that you don't normally share and some things that I am personally curious about. And I think will be really encouraging for people who also feel stuck and might not realize some of the things that can help and make weight loss so much easier, because you truly have made weight loss and maintaining your weight easy, not something where you're torturing yourself all the time.
Totally. I love that.
My first question for you is, when you were struggling with your weight, why did you think that you couldn't lose weight?
I just felt like I had like all the proof. I felt like I had all of the data. Like I felt like, well, yeah, I can lose weight for sure. But the only way I really knew how to do that was through over exercising and like majorly under eating. So there was part of me that knew I could, but it was doing things that I was unwilling to do for a long period of time and felt like borderline torture. So I just felt so stuck because I got to this point where I was like, I don't want to keep doing that. Like, it's so exhausting. It takes so much will. It takes so much effort. It's so hard. I can't have the social life that I want. And so I'd kind of just like thrown in the towel. And I went through these cycles of throwing in the towel and eating everything I wanted whenever I wanted, and then mustering up some motivation and doing some sort of crazy, whatever, keto or Weight Watchers or like fill in the blank. I tried it all, and none of them worked long term because I think they were just so hard.
Yeah. The constantly doing things that make weight loss hard is something that makes it really hard to believe that there is a way to do it where you just feel better, or truly you're not stressed out about food or beating yourself up. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so interesting where you are now compared to all this time where weight loss was super hard. Because one thing I remember you saying that's always stood out to me is you said something about you don't worry about your kids' snacks, or you have all your kids' snacks in the house now. And that came up in a conversation where we were talking about you getting mad at your husband for not hiding a snack from you a long time ago, and that you were so stressed out to have things that you couldn't control yourself around, as opposed to now where those things are around and it's no big deal. And I think that there's a part of so many of our heads that are just wired to believe that it has to be hard to feel in control because there's not actual skills that are being taught along with diets and weight loss plans of how to feel in control. But you have that. So can you tell me a little bit about what's different? What was it like to be mad at your husband for not hiding snacks versus having your kids' snacks around and being able to stick with your plan and eat foods that help you feel your best?
Yeah.
But have it be in a way that feels light and fun and easy.
Yeah. And I want to say one more thing about just like the disbelief. Like I never believed I could just weigh what I wanted to weigh and it not be super hard, because I felt like everything was the same. Everything that was out there, every solution was the same, dressed up a little differently, right? It was just like a pig with lipstick on. So I think that everything just was the same to me. So I feel like the Yummy Mummy method is finally different. And to your point, it speaks to the effortlessness. Like we have the, peanut butter filled pretzels in our house right now. We have all kinds of like the kid snacks and the husband snacks. And I just really don't notice them. And I think it's because I was able to decondition an over desire for food. I think for so long, I over desired food because food was like a main source of pleasure. I didn't realize that I could get pleasure from so many other sources, and those sources wouldn't leave me with results I didn't want, like extra weight on my body, like not being able to shop in my closet, like not feeling good in my skin. And so through this process of deconditioning and over desire, I then created a natural desire for food. Like we're all supposed to desire food. It's just that we've been conditioned in our culture to over desire it because we've been conditioned to eat for emotional reasons. We've been conditioned like, oh, you had a hard day. Let's go out for ice cream. Oh, your boss was mean to you. Let's, get some fancy popcorn. Or you had a hard week. Or, you know what, you deserve a treat. Or let's make this more fun by getting X snack. And so there was just such a focus in my life on food. And because I over desired food, I overate food. And because I overate food, I was over the weight that I wanted to be. And so what I uncovered is that like we're kind of like Pavlovian dogs. Again, we've been trained to eat when we're bored, to eat when we're restless, to eat when we don't want to do the next like task on our to-do list. We've been trained to eat to celebrate, all these different reasons. And then that creates an over desire. And so now through using one of the practices I teach the Yummy Mummies called Allow Power, we all lower our desire, and I've lowered my desire for food to a natural desire. And so when you have a natural desire for food, you still enjoy your food. It's just not your like number one source of pleasure. It's like it's been like put in its place, so to speak. And so because I feel like through using Allow Power, not willpower, and we learned about this in the School of Skinny, which, by the way, you guys, if you missed the School of Skinny, we're going to relaunch a listen party over the next 5 days, so stay tuned. But anyways, Allow Power helps you to decondition that over desire. So you have a natural desire. Because when you have a natural desire for food, you eat a natural amount and then you bottom out at your natural weight. And I define your natural weight as your happy weight or your dream come true weight. It's basically when you're using food for what it is supposed to be for, which is fuel, but we're not taught that. When you're using food for what it's for, which is, again, fuel, most of the time, I still think there's room for like some celebratory eats and some good old pleasure eats. Then you bottom out at that natural weight. It's just, again, we haven't been taught how to do that in our culture because food gets so conflated. And it does seem like it's kind of a radical concept to like treat food as just fuel. But when I put it back in its place, I feel like I got to have it all with my relationship with my body, with my relationship with food. I got to weigh what I wanted. And so again, it's just like nobody is teaching us how to actually lose weight. They're teaching us all these like Band-Aids. They're not giving us the skill set for permanent weight loss.
Yeah. The thing that you teach about weight loss that makes going through the Yummy Mummy experience so different is instead of spending energy and mental energy and adding this new thing to your plate where you're following a bunch of complicated rules and spending a ton of time putting things into an app and planning out meals that are super stressful to make and that your kids aren't going to like, instead you spend more energy on things that just help you feel better. Mm-hmm. I think that's what is so different about this is you change the way you think, you learn some new skills. When you reach for food, that experience turns into a way to start to feel even better, to start to have new tools in your toolkit that truly do make weight loss easy because we're not making the focus food. You're going to be making the focus feeling better in your life, having more fun, being happier.
Yeah.
That is a really cool part and something I see in you from the outside. And I think it's so easy to see your stuff and be like, oh, she's never struggled with her weight. She's so happy. She's just eating all these healthy foods. And the truth is that your process is all about just becoming someone that doesn't struggle with their weight, that doesn't worry about food, that is just able to follow a healthy eating plan and feel amazing and love life. And you embody that. You've been able to create that.
It almost sounds like too good to be true.
Yeah. What advice would you give somebody who believes that it's too good to be true? It's like, yeah, that's great for you, Laura.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing this and you are so far from where I'm at. Like, I'm shoving cookies in my mouth at night once the kids go to bed because it's been a long day.
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
I would tell them to do the Yummy Mummy experience. I would tell them that this is what I tell the audience all the time. Like, you have the data, like you have the proof that what you've been doing doesn't work. Don't try the next version of keto when it comes out next week with some like new best-selling book that's just another diet. Like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Don't go back to doing Weight Watchers because it quote unquote worked. It didn't quote unquote work if you're still here listening to this podcast, right? What we want to do is solve this at the root once and for all. And so you have to be willing to try something new and different, which can be scary because our brains really like the familiar, even if the familiar isn't serving us. So I encourage you to take that leap of faith. No one taught us how to think. Like, growing up in school, like, we weren't taught the skill of how to think. We don't know how to change our thinking. We don't know how to feel. No one taught us how to think. No one taught us how to feel. And that's the problem. That's the root. That's part of the root cause of why you don't weigh what you want to weigh, is simply because nobody taught you. And it kind of sounds nebulous, or like, what does that actually mean? And that's why we created a whole program on how to teach you how to think and how to feel, because that's the root cause. The reason why you're eating more than your body needs is because you just haven't been taught how to think and how to feel. It's not like, do this specific workout. It's not like, do this specific thing with your food. It's not like the secret hack. Like, it's not. It's about your thinking and your feeling.
I think that's why the Yummy Mummy experience works so well for women who are successful in their life, that have so many areas of their life where they do so well. They're just like, why isn't this one clicking? Why do I keep getting stuck here? Why do I keep struggling to lose and gain the same amount of weight? And this truly is something that's different than anything else that's offered. And you say that all the time, but it's so easy to just hear that and believe that, oh, well, I should be able to do this on my own. And I think you give women the permission that, no, this is a skill that you deserve to learn. You deserve to prioritize.
Yes.
And you have something that truly works, and doing it in a group is so powerful. There's a reason that you do this in a group. It works so well in the format that the Yummy Mummy experience is in. And it really is something where you can discount and tell yourself, oh, I should just be able to do this myself. It's not that difficult. I know everything about how to lose weight. I know the calories in every food. I can track food all day. I'm a little calorie counter in the back of my head that's just programmed in. So why can't I lose weight? And it's not because you need another app, another diet. It's because you need the mental side of weight loss. And that's something that you offer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you feel like you are doing all of the things, or you feel like you know all of the things, but you just can't get yourself to follow through, it's because you haven't been taught how to think. And there's nothing wrong with you, right? You probably think that the problem is like, something's wrong with me, or like, I'm actually a special unicorn, or you think like you just don't have enough willpower, or you're not creating enough of a deficit, or maybe your hormones are out of whack, or you're just saying yes to too many social events, or you don't have enough time to meal prep. Like, none of those are the actual problems. And we think that that's the problem. And then we're applying an incorrect solution to an incorrect problem. We've misdiagnosed the problem. And so now we're applying an incorrect solution, and it's crazy making. It makes us feel horrible. And so that's why you have to diagnose the actual problem. It's like I talked about before, like having an overdesire for food, not being able to know how to think, eating for emotional reasons, not having role accountability, not having balanced hunger hormones. And so when you can diagnose the proper problem, you can apply the proper solution, which is the Yummy Mummy experience. But we talked a little bit about that, but like having a plan that's just for you, that we create together, that's custom to you, that you have buy-in on, having the solution of really learning how to think so you can actually learn how to want to follow through on the plan that you've created, learning how to feel your feelings instead of eating them or escaping them. Learning how to have pleasure in other ways that give you a net positive, putting yourself in a container where you're being held accountable as you're learning the skill of internal or inner accountability. I think that this is part of why we have so much doubt, is because we've misdiagnosed the problem and then we keep applying the wrong solutions. And so if we can diagnose the actual problem, then we can apply the actual solution. And that really is Yummy Mummy in a nutshell.
Yeah. I want to speak for the podcast listener who's hearing this and resonates and wants to solve the root issue and wants to know what to do next, where to start, where should she go, what should she do next?
Well, she should book a call with me.
Why should she book a call with you? What's going to happen on that call?
Well, number one, it's going to be really fun and informal and casual. And I'm not going to do any creepy, sales tactics, because I think people are freaked out about that. Number one. Number two, we can just talk through, again, without being salesy, we can talk through, like, what are your doubts? Like, what is coming up for you? Like, why don't you believe that this will work? And I just think it's helpful to talk to somebody. You know what else is really cool? We also have an ambassador program as well. So if you guys don't want to talk to me, you can always talk to a Yum Mum alum who has been through the program. So I'll link that in the show notes if you want to book a call with one of our ambassadors. I know Tori has her calendar open. She's been a part of the program for I think almost 4 years now. So she is living proof that this is really for the last time. But I think booking a call is a great next step because you can get any of your questions answered. You literally have nothing to lose. Like, you have, your time, but you're going to get some value out of it. And then you can just know, like, I hate for you to be out there in no man's land and not making a decision. I would rather you make a decision one way or the other so that you have clarity and you're not spending time and energy. Like, either let's rip the Band-Aid off and let's do this, or let's decide no, this isn't right for you, because the energy spent in purgatory is such a waste.
Yeah, you're going to spend 30 minutes this week changing into different outfits because you don't feel comfortable in your skin, or thinking about the treats in the freezer or the pantry
or researching how to lose 5 pounds in 48 hours.
Yeah. So might as well spend those 30 minutes with Laura, because I can tell you that you're going to talk to Laura and you're going to feel like you have more direction. Whether you sign up for the Yummy Mummy experience or not, you're going to have clear direction. And that is so valuable because it's going to free up your mental energy. It's going to save you a lot more than 30 minutes having that clear direction.
Yeah, that's so good. And that's what everybody's so desperate for is clarity. Like, I want to know what to do next. And I will help you. Even if you don't sign up, we can talk about what you're going through specifically and create at least the next best step, whether that's inside the Yummy Mummy experience or not. Another really cool thing that we can talk about on the call is that I'm going to introduce, and I'm not sure I'm going to do this forever. I think we're just doing it for the September cohort for right now, unless it really works out. I'm introducing a new way that you can work with me that the commitment is a lot lower so that you can just test things out, kind of like a taste of the Yummy Mummy. But in order to learn about that, you do have to book a call. So if you want to book a call and you want to learn about the next steps, go to lauraconley.com/lose and you can schedule that.
Go schedule it. lauraconley.com/lose.
I love it. Okay, you guys. So I will see you at your one-on-one call that you're going to go book right now. And I hope you guys have the best day ever. Stay tuned for School of Skinny episodes coming at you starting tomorrow. And I hope you guys have the best day ever. Thank you so much, Krista, for being on with me. You're freaking the best. I love you so much.